This is not financial advice on Pump.fun. I don't think there's been a single project or thing on the blockchain that's had more impact on an industry or the communities involved in cryptocurrency than the Pump.fun launchpad. And it actually took me about a week to gather myself to make a video to really encompass what my thoughts and my opinion on what has become the biggest force in cryptocurrency alone. Pump.fun is a launch pad that came into existence in January 2024. It is a launch pad that allows anybody to launch a token for $3.50 in Solana, as it was initially founded on the Solana network. And that individual can now release the token onto the Pump.fun platform. And once it reaches $69,000 in its market capitalization, it reaches the bonding curve, meaning that the asset will then be listed on the Radium decentralized exchange on Solana. And this has forever changed the way cryptocurrency is viewed and created, as the old adage of a developer being the crucial and vital aspect behind your project has now been completely and forever altered and erased, as now 9-year-old children are deving assets onto the Pump.fun platform. They made $250 million in 2024 alone, and they have expanded the Solana based platform to also include the base layer 2 chain on Ethereum. So they have expanded onto a layer 2 chain to replicate some of the success that they've had on the Solana network. The Pump.fun launchpad has launched over 6 million tokens, some of the most successful tokens being Peanut on Solana and the Godius Maximus token on Solana. So those are some of the most popular and well-known projects, meme projects specifically on the Solana network, and those originated from Pump.fun. And to have something that requires no prior experience, no knowledge, really kind of evens the playing field for cryptocurrency in a way I never thought imaginable. When I entered into cryptocurrency in 2021, you really did depend on a anonymous developer in a lot of cases to be the reason you invested and propagated the meme and the message of the community you were involved. And now, because of Pump.fun, there's no need for a developer. What there is a need for is a strong community and keeping people's attention around an asset class that could be launched again and again and again and again. What makes Pump.fun special and unique is they're already segueing into making their own DEX, or decentralized swapping exchange. So instead of bonding onto Radium, soon they'll be able to bond onto the Pump.fun DEX, which means that now you've got the DEX volume for Pump.fun staying internalized. And that's one of the things, as I did research around the Pump.fun brand, is they really are trying to create their own Pump.fun ecosystem where you get on to the Pump.fun platform, and every investment move that you make, especially for Solana-based meme tokens, is through their application. They do have their own application. I don't know the total number of downloads regarding it, but I do know that they have created their own app. They're in process of creating their own DEX with the MEXC Central Exchange. So they could do some really impressive stuff in cryptocurrency, assuming that they continue on this trajectory. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm James Duryea III, aka the TH3 Crypto Kid on the X platform. I have a coffee company called High Volume Coffee Company. And if you're enjoying this video and would like to support me or my channel, please go to my X platform, click the link in my bio, and buy a bag of coffee if you can. It really does mean the world to me to have your support. And please be aware that you're not just supporting me as an individual or my company, but you're also supporting multiple communities on the Ethereum network as we take a portion of our profits and spot buy and burn the token supply that I'm the community takeover lead developer of. So I want to say thank you for your support for the High Volume Coffee Company brand. It really does mean a lot to me to have a burn project that legitimizes cryptocurrency. So every time you're buying High Volume Coffee, you're actually showing the world that cryptocurrency and the power of communally storing your money on chain together is a greater source of good and economic prosperity than storing your money individually in the bank. So thank you for your support. One of the things that I thought was really interesting is that Pump.fun is now segueing into finance so that you can now buy meme coins essentially on credit and pay in installments for your investment into the space, which shows you, as I stated earlier, that Pump.fun is really trying to create their own ecosystem on the Solana chain and become the dominant meme launchpad and ecosystem on that chain, to the point where Radium, the DEX that they have been partnered with to bond their tokens for swapping, has started their own launchpad called Launchpad. And I'm not sure when their launchpad comes live, but I know that this is a direct response to Pump.fun starting their own DEX. And I think that that's what we're going to see more and more of as people try to find ways to bring people not only onto the chain, but onto their space in the chain. And Pump.fun has done a really good job of branding themselves as the premier launchpad for developers with no background in cryptocurrency to come and launch a token. To have tokens like Peanut and Godius Maximus be a part of your lore and your history in the space is going to bring people into the space. Now, there has been a lawsuit that was filed in January 2025 alleging some conspiratorial or insider trading regarding the Peanut asset. However, there's no shortage of lawsuits always being thrown at companies and brands and platforms for people. And I don't know if it's really credible or viable. You know, we're going to have to see if the suit gets past summary judgment and into the trial proceedings, which just means that, you know, a court is they do the summary judgment to see if the case has any legs to be seen. So we haven't reached that positioning yet. And I think even with other launchpad rival projects coming into the space to try and upend Pump.fun, they'll never be able to keep up with the pace of the vision that the Pump.fun team has. To make $250 million as a launchpad in a single year is extremely impressive. And no one has benefited more from the popularity and the speed and the ease of use on the Solana blockchain than the Pump.fun team, in my opinion. And I think we're going to see more and more people try to copy this Pump.fun launchpad meta, but I don't think that they will be nearly as successful as Pump.fun really has cornered the market on the Solana launchpad space, in my opinion. This is the most important and most impactful and paradigm-changing project to ever exist. It completely upended people's theses to the point where I don't think any of those major tokens like Pepe or any of those other subsidiary derivatives will have any real pump ever again. Because why would somebody enter into $1 billion or a multi-million-dollar asset when they can go launch tokens on the Pump.fun platform? So the people who have this high risk tolerance are just going to be on Pump.fun, and the people with low risk tolerance are investing in Bitcoin. So if you're a meme token developer, you need to figure out a hook or something that's going to bring people into your project that doesn't require the idea that it's going to be magical money in the future, because Pump.fun has changed that entirely. So I want to say thank you for your time and thank you for watching. If you found this video informative or entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a pleasure to make this content. And as for now, this has been Not Financial Advice on Pump.fun.